How do we convert our blog post into a full month of supporting content?
The first thing that we want to do is we want to decide on what our content theme is
Mhm.
going to be. So that is really, really important because what you want to do is that theme is going to set the foundation for all of the content that you produced that month. So, for example, last month, our content theme was branding. Now, our hero piece of content was a blog post, and the topic of that blog post was a rebrand versus brand refresh.
Mhm.
So we went into the month knowing that everything that we're going to be producing content-wise is going to be around branding, and the information that we're going to get that from is our blog post, which was a rebrand versus a brand refresh.
And here are the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, so these are our content formats that we focus on here at 5 by 5. So obviously our hero piece, we then have a webinar on the theme of the month. We convert that into a YouTube video. We then have a bunch of Instagram, LinkedIn content that we produce as well. Another thing that we do is email newsletters. So that piece of content, our blog post, then is converted into all of these different formats that then we post throughout the month.
Point to note here, like content is like a smorgasbord. You don't have to eat everything.
No
You
way.
can pick and choose your favorite pieces. So, and yeah, and if you try and do everything, you're probably not going to do it really well either.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of relates back to those first two key points that we spoke about is
Mhm.
understanding what your audience is wanting to see from you. So there's no point posting TikToks if your audience is not on TikTok. So don't put your
Yep.
energy into that. Put it into something that they're going to be on or looking at. So as a calendar, how this actually looks for 5 by 5. So our two sort of hero pieces, so our blog post and then our live webinar. So pretty much what we're doing today, to give you an example, we'll turn this into 10 pieces of content. We've got that planned already. So once we've got these two items, what that then looks like is you've got your promotion of these things. So we're
Mhm.
sharing our blog post, we are emailing our database, letting them know what the month's webinar is going to be on as well. And then as well in LinkedIn, what we're doing is we're posting about the upcoming webinar. So there's a bunch of content that we've done just from the first two that we started with. And
Yep.
then that turns into, we do the webinar, and that then gets uploaded to YouTube. So we are touching our YouTube channel here.
Mhm.
And then what we do is we repurpose the webinar transcript into another blog. So what we're doing is we're taking the webinar, the audio of the webinar, and basically just turning that into written content as a second blog for the month. So a hot tip here would literally just to be to get the transcript of any audio, maybe plugging that into ChatGPT and just letting it know that you want to turn it into a blog post and then letting
Mhm.
it do the work. So it is quite straightforward and easy to do.
Yep.
So then we move on to Instagram. So then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sharing the webinar and the replay as well on Instagram and LinkedIn. So there's another bunch of content that we're posting.
Mhm.
And then we get to our next part. So basically the next part is our social posts. So these social posts are taking snippets of our original blog post and just turning them into those visuals. So for example, we did an introduction into brand and branding. And we got that information from the blog post that we originally wrote. And then same with, let's just say, examples of visual brands that we've done. We just picked up our latest clients that we've done visual branding for and put that together in an Instagram post. So you can see here how that one blog post really turns into pretty much a day a month. I mean, you can get further than this, but it turns into a day a month of posting something somewhere.
And that's really like I think of the gold standard. Ideally, there's like one bit of content that's hitting the world in some shape or
Yeah,
fashion.
yeah, exactly.
And me as a business owner, like I'm super stoked with that in terms of just, we're sort of coming at it from lots of different angles, and
Mhm.
everyone consumes content in different ways. So
Yeah, exactly.
that gives us that coverage.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there was another one. We
The
got some more.
final
Oh,
one, yeah, is
yep.
just our monthly digital dose. So
Mhm.
we send our monthly email newsletter to our database, and we'll have a whole section in there about the theme of the month and a replay of the webinar itself.